Welcome back to AVPlays. Welcome back to Big Ambitions. We've got a lot to work through today. We're going to head over to City Workforce to recruit that purchasing agent and assign them to the desk. Let's also make sure we're good on everything here, which it looks like we are. All right, let's get to it. So, City Workforce, I believe, is in Lower Manhattan or on the border of Lower Manhattan and Midtown. It looks like we have 2 new employees. Great. We're going to go ahead and hire these guys. And I believe for this store. There we go. Let's go ahead and add them to the schedule for Tuesday. Got one full-time. We'll leave it at that. One cleaner. Maybe we'll stretch them out for 12 hours. Bam. That works for now. Oh, and perfect. A taxi. Let's grab that taxi and get us over to City Workforce, which should be over here somewhere. Let's close these. I'm gonna mark off recruiting agencies. And hopefully I can find it on this fancy map. There we go. Travel here, and it should be open. Perfect. Gonna head here. New campaign. We saw this yesterday. AVPlays Inc. Purchasing agent 1-1 is fine because we'll most likely be replacing them with what we get from the headhunter anyway. And now we just have to wait. Hopefully we'll be getting the employee suggestions from City Workforce soon for the headhunter. We are going to head over across the bridge to Industry City and look at what else we need for our store. So let's actually head here first. Look at what we need. Oh. And all right. Inventory and pricing. I actually think we should be fine on inventory for Industry City other than the burger. Let's head over and grab a couple boxes of burgers for the store. Do that. Two, and then what else? I guess we can grab one box of hot dogs and chicken kebab skewers and french fries as well. Doesn't hurt to overstock, so let's see. French fries, chicken kebab skewers, hot dog, chicken kebab skewer. Let's go ahead and check out. We'll head back to our store. That's another $9,461. Perfect. And then we're going to head over to Hell's Kitchen and start stocking that store as well. And we're going to look at what it looks like on the inside of Hell's Kitchen store. And perfect, my employees. Two part-time employees from Anderson Recruitment. Let's go ahead and look at these guys and add them to our schedule for Saturday. And was there a part-time cleaner as well? No. That's perfectly fine. We'll get there. Awesome. So let's head over to our store in Hell's Kitchen. Let's check out what that looks like. I'm super excited to enter into it for the first time. And it's actually pretty cute. I don't mind that at all. Let's look at what the interior score is, which is a 75, so it could get better. But for now, that's perfectly fine. And I just want to make sure we're selling everything like we are in the other stores. So French fries, pizza, soda, burger. So we are missing like chicken kebab skewers, hot dogs. So there is quite a bit actually that we aren't getting out of the store. So we will probably be making some adjustments here and making it so that we're selling everything as possible. But I do love the seating here. That's great. And I guess there's a security camera. That seems weird, but whatever. We got free storage. The bathroom's all set up already. So don't have to worry about that. But we will be getting hot dog stuff, chicken kebab skewer stuff, ice cream, salad, the fruits, apples, and bananas. So we'll start setting that up as well. So where are we in? We're not that far from Square Appliances, so let's head over there. And let's go ahead and buy some of that stuff so that we can get it all set up. Right, and we are back inside, and really how I typically set up my restaurants is I like them to look the same across, and I know that could probably be a little bit boring, but think of like a franchise, right? Franchises typically look exactly the same. And so that's something I like to consider when setting up things, but of course, this is going to be a little bit different because of the fact that we had the installation company set it up for us. Put that back, and one more industrial grill, and I didn't grab the hot dog grill. Darn. So we'll be heading back over one more time for the hot dog grill. Awesome. And the salad bar, I'm gonna kind of do the same thing I did in the other restaurant. So I'm gonna move this. Place this here. Yeah, this one here. Perfect, and kind of leaves some space for the cashier. These can go over here and see. I like it. Okay, I'm gonna move this and this, and we'll slot this here. And you're tempted to do the same thing on the other side. We'll leave the opening here. And that way these can go here. And you're not kind of impeded from entering this back area. Perfect. I bet the ice cream counter and the fruit pallets can just go back here for now. Then we'll head over, we'll grab the hot dog grill, and then we will go ahead and get some items for this store. Awesome. This looks great. Could be better, could be worse, so not awful. I just realized there's a nice little Subway right next to our store, so we can take that New York City distro, and we will probably just buy 2 boxes of everything to get started. All right, inside New York City distro, so 2 paper bags, just do bag of apples, bag of bananas, get you hot dogs, 2 chicken kebab skewers to start off. Awesome. All right, we have our headhunter. That's super exciting. That gets us rolling very quickly. So to put them on the schedule, you're going to go into Bisman, click on your headquarters. Now click on schedule and just add them like you would any other employee. They're all set. This automatically copies it to every day, and you're not able to change the hours or the times of your headquarters. They can't be open on the weekends or anything like that. So you're not allowed to adjust the schedule at all, other than adding employees. And then you're going to go into Headhunters, Add Plan, Ellen, and I think our first one is going to be another Headhunter. You can adjust that all the way up. You can use deal breakers to the best of your wants. And the reason we're doing this is because Ellen is going to be extremely slow at finding employees because she's only 22% on skill. A headhunter that is closer to 100 will get us other employees pretty quickly. So we're going to click start recruiting right off the bat there. And we have all of our items. So let's go ahead and cash out. And head back over to our store. And that was $8,013 that just costs. So not bad. All right. Hell's Kitchen Estate. Head into the store. All right, let's go ahead and drop this off in our storage area. Oh, we can't get to our storage area. So let's move this for now. Perfect. All right. So the cleaning can go here. I just noticed we have an extra cabinet. I'm going to go ahead and sell that. I'll probably regret that at some point. And the delivery spot can go over here. And we're going to repeat this process a couple times. So I'll probably catch you guys on the other end of this unless something interesting happens with recruiting. Perfect. We've got some people to keep in mind. Headhunter, most important. Perfect. All right. Everyone else here, we'll keep this person. Everyone else, I'm going to go ahead and discard. And now that we have our primary headhunter, let's go ahead and schedule them first. I'm going to take Ellen off the schedule and add Gianna. Perfect. We'll go ahead and sign them now. Let's stop recruiting for another headhunter. And now we can recruit for customer service at, I want to say like 85% is what that's going to get you and above. And we'll do part-time. We're going to cross off 4 days a week because they're going to be working 5 days a week. And then no afternoon shifts we're going to also cross off. So they'll be able to give all of the rest of these demands. And that's perfectly fine. They're going to be working 5 days a week. If they ask for no morning shifts, we'll put them on an evening shift. If they ask for no evening shifts, we'll put them on a morning shift. They're never going to clean. And same idea with the night shift. So they'll be fine. Let's go ahead and click start. And we'll see those come in like an hour. Everything else, let's see. Burgers and fries GD is going to run out of burger soon, and salad. And let's go ahead. We'll fire Ellen. Sorry. Place Joseph on the weekend schedule for cleaning. And perfect. Let's go knock out these two things so that the burgers and fries for GD are all set to be sold. We're close to having these restaurants pretty much just operate on their own, and that's exciting. Let's stop this taxi, head back over to Manhattan Business School, and we will study until we drop, which is another hour or so of studying that we have left. For 3 hours and 8 minutes, I guess we can study. Perfect. Burgers and Fries IC is open, no one's there. Cleaning full time, we'll go ahead and hire that person. And that fixes this issue. And let's go ahead and copy this to the rest of the week. Actually, we want 9, 9, 10. Copy this to the rest of the week. These are good, so we'll need 3 more customer service employees. And our guy is exhausted. He's going to faint soon. So we're going to set this as our destination and head home. We'll sleep until tomorrow. We'll see how much we made today. It might be a little less than that 39,000 number. We'll see. But tomorrow, we will be completely set up for full staffing of our store. All right, and we're back up. We made 31,000 yesterday, so not the best day, but not the worst. Everything's looking good though, so we're still waiting on that purchasing agent from City Workforce. And I think what we are able to do right now, stop taxi. We'll head over to our house kitchen store, open it up, and work it. And over the course of the next couple of hours, we'll hopefully start seeing, wow, that's a lot of people that came in all at once. Over the next couple of hours, we'll start seeing hopefully a couple employees get recommended to us, which is exactly what we see. Let's go ahead and hire everyone. And we'll throw them on House Kitchen and adjust. And then this is our purchasing agent that Uncle Fred would like us to see. So we'll go ahead and do that just to accomplish the goal. They're not going to be here long. So let's seat them and see what Uncle Fred has to say.
Okay, perfect. But you can't order anything until you have a place to store it all. Now let's get you set up with a nice warehouse and some large pallet shelves. I love the smell of fresh inventory in the morning. Smells like profits.
Awesome. Thank you, Uncle Fred. So Uncle Fred would like us to rent a small warehouse, start your warehouse business, purchase at least 1 pallet shelf, and place the pallet shelf in the warehouse. So we'll get to that. First, we are going to add everyone we just hired onto the schedule and get the schedule looking perfect. Now, this wants 3 cleaners. I am going to sell 2 of these cleaning stations. I don't think you necessarily need more than 1. And I could be wrong, but I think 1 just gets the store clean enough. Let's go ahead and look at full-time and what we have here. So, of course, we only hired customer service employees and only full-time, so we'll have to work on that for a little bit. Caitlin Burgess, right off the bat, perfect. Roy Manson, he wants bronze health insurance, so that is something we'll have to look at soon. That is done through your HR manager. Rodney and Michael. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get them on for the whole week. And now this store is fully functioning. We just have to hire for the weekend. We have to hire cleaners, but it is going to be open. We don't have to stand here anymore. That's super exciting. Let's go ahead and take the rest of these employees and shuffle them around, starting with Industry City. Perfect. And now let's fill out the schedule for Industry City. So Ellen's off the schedule. Andy and Amy are on, along with Rosanna and Irene. Perfect. We'll go ahead and get these guys on all day. Love it. Industry City is now officially up and running to perfection. We'll fire Ellen. I'm so sorry, Ellen, but you've got to go. And we're going to move these guys over to Garment District. Now let's look at Garment District. Faye, you're gone. Timothy, all of these guys are going to go for now. So Lana is here. Tony, Beverly, and Corey. And we're just going to go ahead and copy these guys over yet again. Perfect, 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 perfect. And then everyone who isn't assigned a task is getting fired. Thank you for working for us. You did a great job for now. But now those stores will start seeing the satisfaction rating go up and up because what was keeping us down, not pricing, not interior, not cleanliness, but customer service. So we now have customer service employees at the top of their game, and we're going to leave the recruiting on for more customer service employees, and we'll start seeing them. They come in every hour, but in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and clean the store up a little, especially because we don't have anyone cleaning. And we're not going to do this until Friday because warehouses cost quite a bit of money. And it is so pointless if we know that we're not going to be able to do any of the logistics until Monday, day, 25? No, way off. Monday, day 23. And we know, so we have 5 days to work with. There's no point in having a warehouse sitting there siphoning money for 5 days. And same idea, actually, with the employee, the purchasing agent. We're going to go ahead and fire them. We'll rehire one on Friday. So the store looks great. Everything's awesome. It doesn't have a radio, but that's perfectly fine. Awesome. So I'm going to skip ahead until Friday. I'll pop back on if anything crazy happens, but we'll skip ahead until Friday when we're ready to open up this warehouse and show you what that looks like. All right, guys, welcome back. And we are inside Aquatic Cargo. And what we're doing here is we're just walking into all of these import providers so that we can get their contacts into our phone for when we set up the import contracts. So we're going to just do this quick walk through each of these, set up the contract. And what I've been thinking is we don't necessarily have to rent the warehouse until Saturday because each of these are open on Saturday, which means we can set the contract then. So we'll be recruiting for the rest of the day, making sure we have our logistics manager, our purchasing agent, and a delivery driver in place. Then on tomorrow, we'll open up our warehouse. We'll buy a truck for it to get that all set up. We'll set the contract up with our purchasing agent. And then Monday is when all of this will really kick in because purchases happen on Mondays. So we don't necessarily have to worry about getting this all set up until Monday when that first purchase will enter our warehouse and the logistics team will take it out. So it's super exciting when this starts working. Once logistics is set up, it's really a game of automation. How much can you automate every business? You set up a business, you set the logistics for it, and you go on to the next one. So it becomes very much a straightforward thing. And we see one employee came in, full time cleaner. Perfect. We'll go ahead and put this in Burgers and Fries House Kitchen. Let's go ahead and add them to the schedule. Awesome. Copy our schedule. And we'll wait for the next one to come in. And while you guys were gone, you'll see we went up to making $65,300. And that's because our two restaurants are now just operating fully. They're operating on full hours. We've replaced all of the customer experience or customer service employees. So now the worst one is an 83, and we're slowly working on replacing our cleaning employees. And really, the skill makes them more expensive, but it makes them way more efficient at their jobs. So, especially the cleaning employees, they clean faster and they clean a lot more area per hour, the higher their skill. The only employee that the skill rating doesn't matter for is factories for now, and I hope they do change that. But as of right now, factory employees, whether they're 10% or 100%, all function the same. So that is something to keep in mind when you're setting up factories. You can get that 10% employee, save money on their income and their payments, and get a very cheap but efficient factory going. And I believe we'll have one more building to head into. Then we will take care of the paper bag shortage at Burgers and Fries Garment District. And we will look at stocking the rest of our stores for today, making sure everything's stocked. And then we'll probably be heading home to the apartment to play some video games because a very exciting thing, you guys will never have to hear me utter the words Manhattan Business School because I've completed all of our training. So we got that out nice and early. We don't have to worry or think about it again during this gameplay. And we'll be able to do factories when it's time to get there. So that's so exciting to have that done before we're ready to really expand that far out. We won't be limited by doing training when we are ready to be that far out. So exciting. Now we're heading into New York Distro. And let's look at what else we need for Burgers and Fries Garment District. Perfect. And we're just going to head over to our apartment and really just play some video games, let the time go by a little bit, and bounce between these recruiting processes. So I will catch you guys on the other end of that unless something crazy happens. All right. And over that time period, we hired a few employees. So we're now all set on the schedule here. We have our headhunter, our purchasing agent, our logistics manager, and an HR manager. And we're going to set up a plan for the HR manager. We're going to assign it to our HR manager. And this is going to say we automatically train employees up to 100%, automatically replace absent employees with temporary employees. So if someone calls out, they'll automatically handle this for you. We're going to assign them all of our employees. And you'll see there are insurance demands. We're going to be setting up insurance, just not quite yet. But what is exciting here is now, slowly over time, our average primary skill percentage will be going up. Love to see that. Our purchasing agent, our logistic manager will work on tomorrow when we get our warehouse. And for our headhunter, you'll see this little 0 out of 1. That's automatic replacement. And what this does is it allows our headhunter to automatically replace employees when they resign or retire. And it's a $2,500 replacement fee, but this does is just done automatically for you. Once your headhunter gets up to 100% skill, they'll be able to add on a second HR manager that they're able to do this for. So, two HR managers for every headhunter. At 100% skill for HR managers, they're up to 50. So your headhunter will be able to replace up to 100 employees when they resign or retire. So that's something that's awesome. It's easy to keep in mind. Now, we are going to go ahead and play video games for the rest of this time. Then we'll sleep until tomorrow. And we'll get started on looking at a warehouse to rent out and what that looks like for us. And we're up to $77,000 that we made yesterday. That's an awesome amount of money. So let's go ahead onto Google Maps, check off warehouse, and let's see what's available to us. So Uncle Fred would like us to get a small warehouse. I'm going to rent a small warehouse just to mark off his command, and then we'll probably expand into like one of these two. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll check this off. And you'll notice this fancy looking thing is new. That's actually a warehouse that is specifically set up to be a factory. So if we look at the layout of it, there's just lots of space around to get that factory up and running. And all right, back to Google Maps. Let's see what we can rent out that's small, relatively painless for a first deposit. I mean, there's not really that many warehouses around, but we'll rent out this as our main distribution, and that's $89,000. That is a giant chunk of cash, but that's fine. So this is going to be our main distribution center. And as you see, it can handle 2 drivers right now. Each driver, depending on scale and the truck size, can get up to 16 locations for delivery. So one warehouse can have up to 32 stores that it takes care of. So that's awesome. What I tend to do with my warehouses is I'll do a main distribution center that is typically one driver, and that drops off products depending on the type of business. So, like, we'll have a restaurant warehouse where the driver will drop off restaurant products from the main distribution center to the restaurant warehouse, then from the restaurant warehouse to our restaurant businesses. We might get that complex in this gameplay, but for now, we will leave it like this. And as you can see, our logistics manager, Lauren Lane, is taking care of the main distribution center. And right now, she will deliver up to 0 destinations, and that's because we don't have a car in there and we do not have a driver in there quite yet. But we will work on that. Our next step is to go ahead over to any of the appliance stores, really, and purchase the pallet shelves. You could also call them, which I think is what we'll do, and say, hey, how can we help you? Yeah, you can help us by going to our main distribution center today at 2 p.m. and dropping off, we'll say, 10 pallet shelves. Order that. Awesome. And of course, Uncle Fred would like us to go to AJ Peterson, which we'll just do that as well. There's no harm in buying one extra, dropping it off there. And the pallet shelves are these big ones back here. And we're just going to buy one. And while we're in here, we'll buy those chairs that you actually need more than four. We'll grab those that have been waiting at our restaurant for us to fill out. So that's $3,200. We will go uncheck this distro. Let us check off. This is where we're heading. And on our way there, we're going to make a pit stop at our restaurant to drop off those chairs we just bought. So then hop in this taxi. Go to our restaurant, drop off the chairs, and then we'll hopefully take another taxi back. So let's place these here. And I know we need one more chair, but that's okay. We'll just place this. That looks a little friendlier, I guess. Awesome. And head over to our warehouse. Perfect. There's a taxi here. And of course, you don't need a warehouse this gigantic when you start off. But I like to kind of future proof, right? I know we're probably going to need a bigger warehouse at some point. So why not mark that off?
Let's get that purchasing agent an import contract so they can order your first batch of goods. Each importer sells different items, and you'll need a different purchasing agent for each importer. I'll show you how to set up your first contract.
Awesome. Thank you, Uncle Fred. So we are going to call our importer and set up our first contract. So I believe we want jet cargo. I could be wrong. And we have to wait another 2 hours. So let's go ahead and wait that time. And while we're waiting for the importers to open up, we are going to do something that we've been avoiding this entire gameplay. Head over to the car dealership and look at maybe purchasing our first car. And this will be, at the moment, it's going to be our personal use car, but we're also going to have it. Wow, that is expensive. Come on. All right, we'll get the Honda Mimic that we sold earlier. This is what's going to be dropped off in our warehouse. I guess we can do that. Yeah. Yeah, so this is what's going to be in our warehouse just for this weekend. We'll probably sell it back after that. And then we're going to buy a truck for our warehouse. But then also we will be buying none of it for our personal driving. But for now, this works. And this is a lot slower than I remember it being. Wow. So really, this is just a weekend number one freight vehicle for us. And imagine getting your deliveries for a store in a car that small. That'd be pretty funny. But as you can see now, we're looking at our warehouse. We have the main distribution. There's our Hansa, Mimic, placed here, and we can assign our delivery driver to it, which is Teresa Kwong. Perfect. And now, if we look at our logistics manager, you'll see it can deliver up to one destination. That's useful. All right. But that's perfectly fine because deliveries. So our purchase will be made on Monday. That'll get dropped off to our warehouse on Monday. Deliveries won't start until Tuesday. So I guess we didn't really necessarily need to buy this right now. And that's okay. All right. Yeah. I think we'll be able to we're going to sleep in the car until 10. Perfect. I knew something was going to happen. That's okay. And we will check cargo. And let's see if we were right. We're right. Awesome. So now this is where things start getting expensive. So we're going to do a repeating order with Smart Delivery. Smart Delivery tells the system that if the warehouse has a certain amount, so if the target amount is already reached, no additional products will be delivered. So if I say I want 5,000 paper bags in our warehouse, then if the next delivery period there's 4,200 paper bags, it will only deliver 800. So this is the target goal. If Smart Delivery is turned off, it will always buy that amount. So we're going to leave Smart Delivery on, and I'm going to be outrageous and just buy 10,000 paper bags right off the bat. Burgers, and this is where you can also start getting very nitty gritty, right? Because we are purchasing and it's going to cost a lot of money. So if we're looking at our businesses and we know that, and we can actually cancel this delivery. But if we're looking at our businesses, we know that burgers and fries sold 3,230 in the Garment District last week. Burgers. 1,214 in Industry City. And 869 in Hell's Kitchen, which brings us up to about 5,000. But we also know that Hell's Kitchen wasn't open for a whole week. Industry City wasn't open for a whole week. So these numbers are a little bit off of what we actually will be selling. So I think, and so if you're, the smart way to do this would be to add up all these numbers and order maybe round up to the nearest 1,000. So if this came out to 5,268, just round up or round up to the nearest 500. So if this came up to you 5,268, round up to 5,500. You just you don't want to overspend too much. But what we're going to be doing is I'm going to say let's go 6,000 for these. And now let's look at, same idea, let's look at what chicken kebab skewers looked like. So 1,173, 505, 542. So we'll go ahead and order, let's say, 3,000. 3,000 for French fries. I feel like we just don't sell that many French fries. I could be wrong. So 1,490, 563, 538. That feels like a similar volume to chicken kebab skewers. All right. Next would be hot dogs. So 2,155. 1,343, 849. I'm going to put that on the same scale as burgers, so we'll go ahead and order 6,000 hot dogs, 3,000 ice cream, 6,000 pizza, 3,000 salad, and then 6,000 soda, we'll say. And like I said, you can get very grainy here. You can get as detailed as you want, down to the 6,001. You can do the math. I'm gonna just round it up and see if this gets close, and we'll adjust as we move on these logistic processes. So if we notice that our warehouse is getting empty quickly, we'll buy more. That's fine. So let's go ahead. We'll place this order. Oh, sorry. We have to assign which warehouse it's going to. All right. And we'll go ahead and order. So we have to make an additional $100,000 by Monday. So this is when the order gets placed. This is when it gets delivered. So it won't get charged until that time. Pretty much we cannot spend any more money. But what we are going to do is head over to taxi. Stop. Head over to Hell's Kitchen. Clean this restaurant very quickly. Completed 90 of Uncle Fred's objectives. That's exciting. Then we're going to head over to the Titan Wholesale in Industry City to buy the salad that is needed there. And then we will go ahead and wait for Monday when our order gets in. We'll verify that the items arrived in our warehouse, although that's such an interesting one to me because, like, why wouldn't they? All right. We get alerted whenever there's an under purchase of items. Going into the warehouse and physically going into the warehouse seems kind of weird, but that's fine. Awesome. Clean. Let's hop on a taxi, head over to Industry City, and I think we're going to just buy 2 salads here. And something to keep in mind as well is everything that's already in the store. So when you're setting up your logistics, we set up purchasing, right? We haven't set up logistics yet. Let's look at that. It looks exactly the same. So you'll see warehouse stock and how quickly you're going to run out of that. So when you're setting up your logistics, it already accounts for what's already in the store. So if you have 500 burgers in your store and you want 1,000 to be delivered, then it's going to deliver 500 from your warehouse. So when you purchase, like right here in the wholesale store, we're purchasing 700 salads. If we determine that every day 800 salads is the best amount to keep in the store at any given day, then it's going to go ahead and deliver 100 additional salads on top of that. So, especially with the deliveries stores, you have a lot of time to get that right because they're dated. Let's just see how everyone's looking as far as inventory. These guys will probably buy more tomorrow. We'll probably buy more tomorrow for that as well. These guys will need lists today. So let's head over. Hey, dude. Acting. We'll head over to Hell's Kitchen again. New York distro to buy for Hell's Kitchen. And they needed ice cream, so we'll buy 1 box of ice cream, 1 bag of bananas, 6 cans of soda, 6 boxes of soda, 1 bag of banana, 6 cans of soda, 1 ice, and that is $2,903. And I'm going to just head over to Hell's Kitchen East subway instead of taking a taxi. Say the like $100 and something will only cost us $3. So hop onto that subway, head over to Hell's Kitchen East, and drop things off in here. And I think this is a perfect time to call this an episode. We will catch you guys up on Monday, and hopefully we'll be all set on money. If not, I'll show you what happens when you don't have enough money. But when we return, we'll be back on Monday, hopefully with our logistics all set. I hope you guys liked this episode. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.